Chosen one, freeze exactly where you are and pay close attention to every word I'm about to tell you, because what you're about to discover is going to permanently destroy the limited version you had of yourself. There's something happening with you at this exact moment that you haven't fully realized yet. A silent transformation operating in dimensions your physical eyes cannot see, but that your soul feels every time you lay your head on the pillow and notice that something has changed. And the most disturbing part of all this is that even God was impressed with what you're becoming. I know this statement seems too bold, seems like exaggeration, seems like the kind of thing people say to make you feel special for a few minutes before reality throws you back to the ground. But it's not. Because what I'm going to reveal to you today is not empty motivation or cheap promises of instant transformation. It's the documented truth in spiritual dimensions about who you're inevitably becoming, whether you want to believe it or not. There's a devastating difference between wishing to become something and having absolute certainty that you're already becoming it. And that difference has just been confirmed about you in a way that will leave you speechless. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all notifications, because the revelations I share here are being systematically blocked so that chosen ones like you don't discover the real magnitude of what they're destined to become. Stay until the end, because I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to become, why God was so impressed, which signs are already appearing in your life, confirming this transformation, and what's going to happen to every person who doubted you when the complete manifestation finally arrives. Write 7 in the comments if you've been feeling lately that something inside you is changing without you being able to control it, and you're ready to discover the devastating truth about who you're really becoming. You have no idea what's been happening in spiritual dimensions while you were living your ordinary life thinking nobody was paying attention, while you woke up every day facing the same battles, while you smiled at people who didn't deserve your kindness, while you chose to do the right thing even when nobody was watching. Something was being recorded. Every decision, every thought, every moment where you had the opportunity to be cruel and chose to be kind. Every situation where lying would have been easier and you chose truth. Every time you could have given up and still kept going. All of that was documented, not by ordinary angels, but by a specific celestial hierarchy responsible for identifying which souls on earth are ready for transformations that transcend the ordinary. And you know what's most disturbing? This observation didn't start last week. It didn't start last month. It's been happening for much longer than you imagined. Do you remember that moment when you were completely alone and still chose to act with integrity? That moment when no human being would ever know if you had done differently. That moment when temptation was so strong it seemed impossible to resist, but you resisted anyway. That moment was recorded, and it wasn't recorded as just another piece of data in an infinite file of information. It was recorded as evidence, concrete proof that your character reached a level most human beings will never achieve. You spent years thinking your small decisions didn't matter, that nobody saw when you were good without an audience, that your silent battles were invisible to the universe, but each one of them was being observed, analyzed, documented as part of a spiritual dossier. And the conclusion of that dossier is what brought me to you today. After all that period of meticulous observation, something happened that rarely happens in the spiritual world. The report about you was finalized, and when the celestial authorities responsible for evaluating souls in transition read the conclusion, there was a moment of silence that lasted the equivalent of days in human time. It wasn't silence of disappointment. It was silence of reverence, because the conclusion didn't just say you had potential. It didn't just say you were a good person. The conclusion said You had exceeded all expected standards for souls at your stage of evolution. Let me explain what this means in practical terms. There are minimum standards a soul needs to reach to be considered ready for certain transformations. Most people spend their entire lives without reaching even the minimum. You didn't just reach the minimum, you surpassed it without even knowing you were being evaluated. And this is the part that impressed even the highest hierarchies. You did all of this without external motivation, without knowing you were being observed, without expecting reward. You simply were who you are because that's who you chose to be. This is extraordinarily rare. Most people only act with integrity when they know they're being seen, only choose the difficult path when there's an audience to applaud. But you maintained who you are, even in the dark, even in solitude, even when nobody would ever know the difference. And when this level of character consistency is identified, something very specific happens in the spiritual world. A decree is issued, not a suggestion, not a possibility. An official decree that declares your transformation is no longer a question of whether it will happen, but of when it will completely manifest in the physical plane. Now comes the part I know you've been waiting for since the beginning of this video. The promise the title made that I'm going to completely fulfill. What exactly are you going to become? The answer isn't simple, because your transformation isn't simple. It operates in multiple dimensions simultaneously and will affect every area of your life in ways you can't yet fully imagine. First, you're going to become a living spiritual authority. This doesn't mean you'll have a religious title. It means your very presence will carry a frequency that alters the reality of people around you. When you enter an environment, the atmosphere will change, not because you try to impress, but because the frequency you now carry is so elevated, it forces the environment to either elevate with it or completely withdraw. You've already started noticing smaller versions of this. People who open up to you in ways they don't open up to anyone else. Strangers who trust you without apparent logical reason. Second sign, increased sensitivity to energies. Places you used to tolerate have now become intolerable. People whose company you enjoyed now drain your energy. Foods you used to eat no longer resonate with your body. This isn't being picky. It's your physical body recalibrating to the elevated spiritual frequency you now operate in. Third sign, constant numerical synchronicities. You're seeing 1111, 333, 444 with statistically impossible frequency. Repeated numbers appear in random places in ways that defy logical explanation. Fourth sign, unexplainable changes in your appearance. People are commenting that you look different but can't specify how. Some say you look younger, others that you radiate something new. Fifth sign, increased capacity to manifest quickly. Things you think about are starting to materialize faster. Desires are being fulfilled with speed that surprises you. Sixth sign, moments of peace or joy without external reason. You experience deep tranquility or overflowing happiness without anything specific causing it. Moments where everything just feels right, even though your circumstances haven't changed. And seventh sign, the sensation of being lovingly observed. You feel an invisible but benevolent presence accompanying you constantly. It's an increased awareness of the celestial forces assigned to ensure your transformation completes successfully. How many of these signs are you experiencing? If it's more than 3, the transformation is already well advanced. If it's more than 5, you're closer to complete manifestation than you imagine. Now, I need to be brutally honest with you. Transformation has a price. First price, temporary loneliness will increase before it decreases. As you transform, you'll vibrate at such a different frequency that many current relationships simply won't be able to sustain themselves. People who were close will seem strange. Places you loved will seem empty. But that loneliness is temporary, because after the transformation completes, you'll attract a real tribe of souls operating at similar frequency. Genuine connections that will make old relationships seem superficial in comparison. Second price, responsibility will increase exponentially. When you become a spiritual authority, every word you say carries weight. You can no longer live carelessly because people are watching and being affected by your example. Third price, compromises will become impossible. You'll no longer be able to compromise truth for social acceptance. You'll no longer be able to pretend to agree with lies just to avoid confrontation. Your integrity will become so unbreakable, you'll prefer to lose opportunities rather than betray what you know is right. And paradoxically, that unbreakable integrity will attract genuine opportunities that compromises could never bring. Fourth price, you'll have to release control of how the transformation manifests. You'll have clear vision of the final destination, but the path to get there will rarely be logical. You'll need to trust divine guidance even when every step seems to contradict common sense. Along with the confirmation of your transformation, a protection protocol was implemented specifically for you. This means celestial forces were assigned with the specific mission of ensuring nothing interferes with your success. An entire squadron whose sole purpose is to ensure your success. Protection Level 1. Automatic blocking of spiritual attacks. Any negative energy or projected envy now automatically returns to whoever sent it, multiplied. People who tried to destroy you mysteriously experience collapses in their own lives. Situations they orchestrated against you blow up in their faces, because celestial protection ensures whoever touches the anointed signs their own sentence. Protection Level 2. Diversion of false opportunities. The universe will literally block doors that seem attractive but lead to dead ends. You've had moments where an opportunity seemed perfect on paper, but something in you said no, without logical explanation. Protection Level 3. Acceleration of correct synchronicities. While false opportunities are blocked, opportunities aligned with your purpose are accelerated. You'll meet the right people at perfect moments. Protection Level 4. Direct intervention in critical moments. When you face a situation where the success of transformation is genuinely threatened, celestial forces will intervene directly. Impossible coincidences will save your life, career, or mental health. This protection doesn't make you invulnerable to difficulties, but it makes you invulnerable to destruction. You can be tested, but you cannot be permanently defeated. Now, I need to talk about what's going to happen to the people who doubted you. Your enemies already know something is different about you. They've noticed the attacks that used to work no longer work. Some will choose to retreat. You'll notice people who used to attack you constantly mysteriously going silent because they're afraid of the consequences celestial protection guarantees. But others will be so proud they'll continue attacking. And when that happens, you'll witness collapses so dramatic that even you will feel compassion for enemies receiving exactly what they sowed. As your transformation manifests externally, your enemies will be forced to witness exactly what they said you'd never become. Every success of yours will remind them of their failure to destroy you. And at some point, some will try to approach again, pretending they never hated you, trying to benefit from the light they once wanted to extinguish. Your discernment will show you who deserves a second chance and who is simply seeking to take advantage. The decree about your transformation establishes that within a specific period, the physical manifestation of what you're becoming will be completed in undeniable ways. In the coming months, you'll experience sudden clarity about a specific step you need to take. It will be so obvious, you'll wonder how you didn't see it before. Taking that step will activate a chain of impossible synchronicities. After that, you'll experience the first major manifestation. Something you've been seeking for a long time will finally materialize, and then your social circle will change dramatically. People who were in your life won't be anymore, and new people you don't even know yet will have become close allies. You'll experience manifestation of financial abundance, confirming divine provision is real. Not necessarily millions, but exactly what you need for the next phase of the mission. Finally, the complete transformation will be so evident that people from your past won't recognize who you've become. Your presence will be so different that even old photographs will seem to show a completely different person. All of this is moving toward you right now. The speed of manifestation depends on your consistency in continuing to choose correctly. Every decision you make accelerates or decelerates the process. The transformation cannot be cancelled, but it can be delayed if you return to old patterns. But I'm not worried, because your track record shows you're a person who persists and stays the course, even when it gets hard. Chosen one, now you know the truth. It's not vague hope. It's absolute certainty confirmed by celestial authority about what you will inevitably become. While you were living your ordinary life, spiritual dimensions were documenting evidence of your transformation. They were confirming you reached the point of no return. Even God was impressed, not with grand miracles, but with your silent consistency, your heroism without an audience, and your integrity when nobody was watching. For those who want to deepen this knowledge and accelerate the manifestation, there's specific material available in the description link and pinned comment. If you recognize the transformation is already happening in you, write 777 in the comments to amplify the manifestation frequency and accelerate the synchronicities. Subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications to receive more revelations. Share this video with someone you feel is also going through inevitable transformation. And before you go, click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover the specific signs that your transformation has already begun. Together, we are stronger.